it's Friday.
Which
you know what
means
that means?
We're getting Figgy with it.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
I don't need my own theme song. You guys are great. I love
You know,
this.
we love him. Our favorite
We love
pitcher
this.
from the New York Mets, Nelson Figueroa. Welcome
Hi.
back.
Thank you.
And he's visiting, by the way, as always, from Sports Nation Nightly, a
We're
show
here.
that you got to sit in on.
I got to hang out there for a hot second.
I loved that. I watched all 27 minutes.
She was the hostess with the mostest.
First of all, thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you.
What'd you do for New Year's?
What did I do for New Year's? Well, I was feeling a little bit under the weather. I didn't get to have my normal festivities. I didn't
Okay.
go partying because I didn't want to get anybody sick. And I had a big
Conscientious.
event coming up, of
Yes.
course, as we know, the Polar Plunge.
Dios mío.
I can't believe you did that.
So I decided to do it because when I was turning 30, a bunch of my friends said, hey, let's go do it. Let's go out and jump into the water. I was born and raised in Coney Island.
Right.
And I chickened out at 30. At 40, I overslept because they used to do it at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh, vey.
And now I did the research, and on Thursday I was talking to Gerard, our producer of
Love
the Sports
him.
Nation
What's
Nightly.
up,
I
Gerard?
said, listen, I think I'm going to do the Polar Plunge. He said, oh, well, if you do it, we're going to be there and we're going to film this thing. So
gonna have cameras.
I wound up doing it, and you had to make either a donation. It was free, but you either made a donation or paid $25 registration fee. But they set you up on a website. And so I opened up a website and got donations, and I became the top fundraiser in 3 days.
Not
so
shocked.
It was pretty cool.
You know what?
We're almost at $6,000.
Amazing. I
and,
saw that. You were over 5K.
Yeah, we're at $5,913 or something like that. So we're almost at $6,000, and the donations end on the 12th, and you can check it out on my website, of course, on Twitter at FiggieNY, and if you want
You
to
can
donate.
still donate.
Yeah, it's awesome. It
What'd
was
you
a
bring
great
with
time.
you?
Listen, my whole family wound up showing up. My mom came with blankets.
I know.
and
So she
towels.
said, I'm still carrying his blankets.
My wife jumped in the water with us.
God
My
bless
uncle
her.
jumped in the water. It was a little bit of an event. So
whole
I was happy
family.
about it. I met people from high school. So I didn't realize how big of an event this thing was. It said there was 4,000 people that actually participated. There was a line of like another 3,000 that were registering that
Did you
day.
know all 4,000 people?
Probably. At some point in time growing up,
believe it.
I probably did. But
And
it was
everybody,
awesome.
and they all knew you.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. We had a really good time with it. I tell you, like, I was nervous about it, but would I do it again? Because now I know what to expect. Absolutely, especially to raise money for Coney Island.
Yeah, for a good
You can
for a
always
good
tell the
cause.
true brave people because they put their face in, like their whole.
Well, you can't go
head.
half. You can't
I
just.
know. What's the point?
I
Oh,
did.
my
They were like, oh, people just walk out and then walk back, you know, just walk out to about your waist. I go, by that time, I'd got to throw in everything else.
Yeah.
So I'm jumping in.
And you
head
did it
first.
twice.
All right.
And I did it twice. So
With the
that'll hold me
Met
over.
lid on.
That'll hold me
no less.
over.
Represent. All right, let's get to the business of the business, shall we? A
Yes.
little
Yep.
sports. Our teams around here that play on the NFL.
Yeah,
It's
wasn't a
ending
good
for us.
year.
It's ending for us on the Polar Plunge, exactly. Is ending on Sunday.
Yes.
What are their names? The Giants and the Jets? Is that who our NFL teams are
Yes,
here? Yeah.
apparently, and unfortunately.
They're not doing anything. What say you? A little motivation for anybody?
Well, the Giants, of course, the Tommy Cutlet thing came and
Aye.
went.
Aye, aye, aye.
We're looking at now the Jets are the only team with something to play for, and by something, what I mean is that they have a chance to beat Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots.
I
They
love that
haven't
they have
done
this
it
vendetta.
since 2015. They've lost 15 straight games dating back to December 27, 2015. So if you think about that, the #1 song at the time was Hello by Adele. The top movie
It's been a
was
minute.
Star Wars Episode 7. That was the prequel
Never
that
seen
started it all, restarted it all. The top TV show was Big Bang Theory.
Love that show.
The iPhone 6S.
The 6? We're in the double digits now.
The 6S was just released, and the average gallon of gas. I love this one, right? Remember, it's like
214?
back in my day,
That-
loaf of bread,
That feels like the dinosaurs were wrong.
right? So 214 is the average gallon of gas.
Oh, Maron.
This was the last time. What happened for
That was the
Michael?
last time that the Jets beat the Patriots. It's been
Listen,
that
what do
long
we
ago.
say over at One City Field? You gotta believe.
You gotta believe.
gotta-
So if they could do that, and again, it might be the last time Bill Belichick is the coach of the New
I
England
know.
Patriots.
Well-
Oh,
so what a
wait.
good way to send
Right?
them out.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Where did he go to college?
Oh, goodbye.
There we go.
Collective eye roll.
I think we're getting a wrap.
Let's switch gears.
We're switching gears to the Knicks.
The hardwood.
Oh, yes. The hardwood. I love when they say that. Let's go to the
Let's
hardwood.
go to the hardwood.
Okay.
Oh, bittersweet week for fans. There's a trade involved.
Oh,
There's
yes.
a
Yep.
homegrown guy.
Yep.
Just run it down
They
for
made
us.
a big trade, and our two homegrown players, R.J. Barrett
Right.
and Emmanuel Quickly, who had have finally established roles with the team,
Yeah.
wound up being traded because there were needs for
R.J.
the Knicks
Barrett,
to continue moving on or to get better within the East, and they wound up going out trading to get OG Anunoby, Anunoby from Toronto.
Right.
The good part is RJ Barrett gets to go home, back to Toronto in Canada, and it's a good homecoming for him. Quickly gets a chance to play more often because he's a pending free agent. The Knicks weren't willing to pay him the big money that he was looking for, and Anunoby plays a much better brand of defense, which the Knicks surely needed. So I think it's a good trade for everyone involved. I can tell you right now, I know what it's like when you're a kid who grew up, you know, and wanted to play for your hometown team.
Yeah.
And you get traded. Oh my God, it kicks you right in the throat, and you
Right.
don't want to, you can't breathe. But the other way around, when you have a chance to go
Exactly.
play for your hometown team, you run out there with open arms, and you're excited about the
And
opportunity.
how cool for him that he got to play in the greatest city in the world,
Yes.
New York, and now he gets to go home.
Yeah, there's no more. You
Top
can't have
two.
more pressure than
Top
that.
two choices.
Yeah,
I'd say.
absolutely.
That's not bad.
Okay. All right. Another story from the other night in the world of basketball.
Oh, boy.
There are two fellas named Jalen.
It's a popular name.
Different spelling, but it's
Yeah.
pronounced the same. It caused a lot of confusion. The Oklahoma City Thunder, OKC Thunder, they have two guys named Jalen Williams. One is spelled Jalen. One is Jaylin. So you can imagine the confusion that this arouses.
Yeah.
So, but not just for people like me.
Stripes.
No.
People
The
involved in
referees.
the game got confused
The
as well.
referees were confused. It took over 10 minutes trying to figure out how many fouls each of these guys had. They had to go watch. They had to go watch video again. They had to figure out what to do with themselves for 12 whole minutes. People complain about instant replay in baseball. It takes too
Really?
long. People complain about the officiating in the NFL. How could you possibly? There are two different sizes. First of all, Jaylin, Jalen, he's number 6, and Jalen is number 8. Therefore, and of which, most times when there's a foul, they announce it by the number.
The number.
Right.
Foul goes
6,
on number 6.
Right.
They don't say the foul goes on Jalen. So that's why I didn't understand what the confusion was. Not only to that, then you look at the size difference between the two. One's a guard, one's a power forward. There's about 5 inches of difference in size. So
So
it
you're saying
shouldn't
these
have
refs
been.
need to get their eyes checked.
Yeah, this is a big foul on their part.
The silver lining, basketball games are, I think, probably the shortest game of
They're
all the
fast.
professional sports. So, 12 minutes, it's still shorter than a baseball or a football game.
Yeah, but they don't start with the baseball thing. Aburrido. Baseball's not aburrido.
I think baseball is boring, but I still love
It's
it.
less boring now that they have the new rule.
I still love it. Speaking of baseball,
Yes.
one Harrison Bader.
Yes.
Yes.
For the uninitiated,
Where was
who
he
is
the other night?
What's
Harrison
his story?
Bader, the former St. Louis Cardinal, former New York Yankee, former Cincinnati Red. He's back in New York, and he's a New York boy, born and raised. He was at the Garden last night, right there, watching the Rangers play. And got up on the Jumbotron immediately, and there it is, New York Mets, right underneath his name. So
Wow.
he's, I'm sure,
Harrison
glad to still
Bader.
be in New York, glad to have an opportunity.
Glad
and
to
he's
have
gonna be-
$10.5 million in his
$10.5
bank
million
account.
does never hurt, and he's one of the best defensive center fielders, and so he's being played for his defense. If he can give us just a little bit of offense and be healthy, I'd say 3/4 of
Yeah.
the time. it's a
No
good
one
deal.
better take over my Brandon Nimmo.
No.
Number 9, Brandon
It's-
Nimmo, the center
it's-
fielder.
There'll be a kind of, everybody will play their role.
But that's the key
Okay.
for him to stay healthy. My
Yes.
dad, when he was on the Yankees, my dad was like, the money that's happening with this guy.
We missed
What a
our
waste of money.
calling.
I know.
We should have played baseball.
Oh,
I should have
there
played
you go.
baseball.
Well, Nelson, thanks for popping by.
Always my
Thanks
pleasure.
for sharing your polar plunge.
Ugh.
Make something exciting happen in sports next week.
I got you.
Okay, fantastic.
I promise I will.
Good,
buddy.
Good stuff. Good
No
stuff.
pressure.
By the way, you can catch Sports Nation Nightly weeknights at 7 p.m. with this strapping young man, Nelson, and the Moose right here on Pix 11.